Boston Celtics, the New York Yankees, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Gary, Indiana Bears. Does that even sound right to any of you? Because it doesn't to me. The NFL is about to lose one of their storied franchises, and this isn't like it's the Raiders that have moved more times than most people in their 20s have relationships. This is one of the founding members of the NFL, but where did Chicago even go wrong? Was it greed? Was it politics? Is it violent crime like some people say? Can this be solved, or will we be calling them the Barry, Indiana Bears? I have no idea, but I'm going to try to tie up loose ends because I'm your host, Trenton Hill. We are cranking out content throughout the offseason, and you just might be watching Hill Time Sports. Let's go! The Bears, being from anywhere but the state of Illinois, is completely blasphemous. It's ridiculous hearing even the shred of thought that they might move to Indiana. But there was a time where they didn't even play in Chicago, at least. They were the Decatur Staleys, I hope I pronounced that correctly, named after the starch company that founded the team. They weren't the Bears until 1921. Most teams back then were named after companies they played for, and even though the Staleys were just a blue-collar team, not really semi-pro, not really anything, they helped found the National Football League. And it's the reason why Green Bay is still named the Packers. They just never changed their name from the packing company. For the first year, they remained in control of the A.E. Staley Company, which is a food starch company, but league records report that Papa Bear, George Halas, was the founding father of that team. He would move the team to Chicago in 1921, but a $5,000 agreement said, well, we'll keep the name the Staleys, but they were named after the Chicago Cubs because both teams played in Wrigley Field, and football teams will just name their team after the baseball team in the same city. In 1922, the Chi-Town team that we know and love, the Bears, were now in business. They played most of their games from 1920 to 1970 in Wrigley Field until they moved in 1970 to Soldier Field. Like, they would play some games in Soldier Field, but most of the time they played in Wrigley Field. And you have to wonder, is it really a problem if the Bears move away from Soldier Field because they won 8 league championships in Wrigley Field? And yes, I count those as league championships. And then they win a Super Bowl in Soldier Field. So, most of their best days came before they moved to Soldier Field. Soldier Field was considered a historical landmark, and even though it received renovations in 1978, it was still a historical landmark. But that would all change when the Bears wanted to prolong the stadium's use. And so in 2003, they spent $432 million with a huge contribution from the NFL of $200 million. Yeah, big crowd, big clap of hands for them. But Soldier Field lost its national landmark in 2006 because it was what critics called the eyesore by the lake shore, or the monstrosity of the Midway. Almost looked like a spaceship. They cut down a little bit of the seating, and fans and critics alike just did not like it. But now, the city of Chicago is still paying this off. And the Bears can leave, even though their lease is up in 2033. But why would they want to leave? This is the storied city, the second city. Why would you want to leave this place? And I apologize, I hate talking politics, but when you talk about NFL stadiums and zoning laws and things like that, you got to talk about politics. People are saying that, whoa, violent crime is up, so the Bears want to leave. But despite that, the McCaskies say this is a strictly business decision, a better deal to earn revenue, because as of now, the Bears don't make any money on tickets. Really, they don't own the rights because they rent it from the Department of Chicago's Parks government entity. You know what I mean. Do I believe that this is strictly business from the McCaskey side? I have no idea, because A, I don't live in Chicago, and B, I believe most politicians to be downright dirty and will only say things to make their side look good. I did hear the same rumors from Oakland, and although I live in California, I just don't know enough about these things to really have an opinion on it. So let's just push politics off to the side, for goodness sake. Financially, there is a huge reason for the Bears to build a brand new stadium in Hammond. It's a big incentive for the Bears because they would only have to pony up $1 billion to build what they call a state-of-the-art stadium with a dome, because nothing says Bears football like a dome away from the elements. They would keep the revenue rights while sticking the people of Chicago with a $7 million loss a year and a $356 million to pay off for renovations that happened 23 years ago, because that's just what people do nowadays, and even though it would cause the Bears to have to pay a hefty little fine for leaving early. Which brings us to our next option, a plot of land that was bought for $197 million by the Bears franchise in Arlington Heights, a suburb northwest of Chicago. The problem comes between a difference of flat tax, 7% sales tax in Indiana, and a 10.5% sales tax in Illinois. Commercial properties are also taxed on a higher rate than residential properties in Illinois. The Bears did offer $2 million to build a lakefront stadium, but wanted a better tax deal. Of course it's all about taxes, because who actually wants to pay their taxes? Not me, but I got to. Anyway, things look bleak for the second city, but they aren't giving up on their team just yet by offering incentives, like offering $856 million in infrastructure. That means roads, sewers, utilities, you name it, they just might get it. While also freezing property tax assessments for up to 40 years. Yes, that is a big incentive, because the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, needs their football team. And also offering a set payment rather than rising property taxes. Will the Bears leave Chicago? You tell me in the comments, because I have absolutely no idea what's going on. I'm just here to report and try to provide some entertainment away from the real world. So like and subscribe. We're at 225 subscribers, and I would like to hit 230 by the end of next week. Thank you for your time. Stay blessed. Adios. C'est la vie. Boom.